Hey, so in today's video, I'd like to talk to you about something I've learned recently. One of my most valuable lessons that I've learned, which is that the artist is never really satisfied with their work. Never truly. Now, this is a metaphor. I'm not saying that you need to be a painter or a sculptor to not be satisfied with your work. I'm talking about people who create things, which is like a lot of people, right? Almost everybody creates things in some format. Could be for their job, could be for YouTube, could be for a hobby. We create things. So we're obviously going to be somewhat flawed. We're human. Our creations have to be somewhat flawed too. So, you know, we're gonna pick it apart and we're never gonna be satisfied. So let me kind of give you a story how I learned this and let's rationalize it so it makes more sense than what I just said. So recently I uploaded or I had an upload gap. I mean, where I didn't upload for a few weeks in a row. It was a dead gap, and I had reasons to not do it. I wasn't just quitting there, but within that time, it wasn't just because I couldn't upload. It was because I also was going through a bit of a new experience, which is that I discovered now more than before that I have a new standard for my videos because before when I first started, I had not that many people looking, not that many people were watching, so I didn't really have this standard in mind. I could kind of just record a video and it comes with skill too that you'll increase your standard, but at the time, I didn't have much skill, I didn't have much following, so I could kind of just record a video. It wouldn't take too much from my mind and then just post it, see where it goes. But when my audience grew and my skill grew, my responsibility grew with it. And that was when I had like 20 subscribers. I have like 80 now, so my responsibility has grown greater. But 20 subscribers was enough to do it for me. And I thought, I gotta have this standard, and my video's got to be up to this bar, and it's got to be this way, and all these different standards. And it really let room for me to pick apart the videos and re-record and just go off and off, nitpick the tiny tiny details that I missed. Because in some of these videos I'll have the concept, and or yeah, because when I make videos I have the concept and then I kind of go off spot. And that's not to say that I have like absolutely no clue what I'm doing. I write down like the main points, the story, the subject itself, what we want to accomplish here, and all that stuff. I write it down on like a notepad on my phone, and I think about it. I get a little idea of what we're gonna do, and then I just go from there. Like the main point in this would be at this stage would be telling you the story, but I'm telling you the story naturally. There's no script. There's no script. But with that comes its own mistakes because sometimes you wish you could communicate something better, sometimes you wish you could have said something that you didn't. And as it so happened to be, i I did that, right? I'm not perfect, but I completely nitpicked myself over it. I would pick the little mistakes and I would scrap the video, re-record it, and then I'd look at that one and I'd pick something that was wrong with it, scrap it and re-record it. And it was a vicious cycle, I'm telling you, because in that time nothing got uploaded. Why? Because I just kept re-recording and I never felt satisfied. I just kept going. I'm telling you, in that gap of time, it was a lot of me trying to figure out why I don't feel satisfied with the video and trying to resonate that. Because it's a new thing. I had never encountered this before. Never. Or, well, I have. I'll get into that later, but it wasn't to the same degree. Because with this, I'm helping people. People listen to this. People will build their day-to-day lives sometimes on this stuff. The way they react to things, the way they do things. So I'm thinking, right, I'm meddling with people's lives, so I got to be careful. And that's true. I got to be careful. I'm meddling with your life, so I got to be careful. I really do. But I got almost over careful because I nitpick and I think, the bar is all the way up here. So all these little issues, re-record, re-record, re-record. And it just was so vicious. I could never accept that I made a human mistake. It was horrible. It was horrible. And on top of that, the mistakes are the human part, right? The things that you come up with on the spot, the things that you do that are different, that make you you. Because when you just write a script, anybody can read it. I could have wrote a script for this, and I could have put my brother on this video, and he could have read it, posted it on this channel, and you would get my words via my brother, but it would be my brother. It wouldn't be me. What I would do, the little things I come up with on the spot, that's what makes me me. That's what makes me human, a human Jake. And the reason I run this channel as Jake King and not as my brother, right? So the human parts are the mistakes and are the things that you come up with that are from you. The mistakes that you make and the things that you do. That is the human part. But the problem with that is that we see it as like, there's the human part, which is almost unnecessary, and then there's straight to the point, right? And as I said, with like crafts and artists, they'll look at their human mistakes in their craft and their art as unnecessary, and then they'll look at the art as the needed piece, right? Like if I was going to draw a painting of an apple, we are going to draw the apple, and that's the needed piece. The apple drawing is the needed piece. The mistake I made where I colored something a shade I didn't want it, that is the human part that makes my art special and not just a copy of what I've seen and not just another drawing of an apple, right? I mean, it would still probably be just another drawing of an apple. You can't really get too unique on those, but you get what I mean. You get what I mean. It's just a dumbed down version of it. But still. I just picked it apart too much, and it got to the point where the information that I was speaking of, the needed piece and the human piece, it went up, and that's what you wanted, right? You want the needed piece to go up. You want the apple to look better. And that's what you want, right? That's what you're going for. But what you also do in turn is you take down the human piece. The less mistakes, the less things you come up with on the spot, and it just creates almost an even more vicious cycle, because the less human you seem and the more informative, I mean, it's in a way good, but then you feel like that video isn't really even a video, or it isn't even you. It isn't right. It just doesn't feel good. So once again, you feel like your video is imperfect, because why? You aren't being you. You're being a robot speaking on like every key point. It's just a disgusting cycle. And it happens with everything. It happens with literally everything. I reevaluated when I through the couple week gap, and I was looking at everything in my life, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I literally do this with everything. It could be crafts, it could be cooking, it could be just doing my homework. I always have something that I can pick apart. Something. The thing that makes me me, but I still pick it apart because it's not perfect. You need to accept you're not going to be perfect. I had to accept that. And I did for a time, but I don't know what happened. I just might have reverted back or something, because I almost had the expectation that I need to be perfect. It came with the responsibility, as I said. You know, my videos got more popular. I need to be more careful. But it came at the cost of me, right? At the cost of you coming here not only to get the information I provide, but to hear it from me, other than to read or to see someone read a script of my information, right? It was a nasty, nasty cycle. And every time I re-recorded, it just got more informative and still like more perfect, I guess, but also at the same time less perfect because I got less human. And I've done this before, I've done this recently with some of the videos, including Death Part 2, actually. This is the main reason I'm making this video, because Death Part 2 has literally it went viral considering my other stuff, right? and it helps so many people. I think 6.5 thousand, and I almost didn't upload it. I almost, because I looked at it and I picked out all these flaws, and I was like, I kind of want to re-record Death Part 2, but I didn't have the time on that day. So I almost didn't upload it, and then I wouldn't have made it, or at least I wouldn't have made it as good, and then who knows? I wouldn't have helped those 6.5 thousand. Maybe I would have helped more. There's a chance that Death Part Two's re-recorded version in another universe got more views and helped more people. Yeah, there's a chance, but considering my streak of stuff, I'm not a very popular YouTuber at that. I get some views for what it is, but that's fine. We're growing at the moment. But considering my track record, it's more likely that Death Part 2 would have got like something between 20 and 60 views rather than 6.5 thousand or more. So if I didn't upload it, the chances were that it would have helped less people. And all because I chose to look at the little things and nitpick them and decide it wasn't good enough. So this is the problem. We need to, I know it's hard, but we need to kind of look at our creation, our art, and as the artist, as the creator, we need to understand it's not going to be perfect. As long as the whole thing, like if you took it and you gave it to someone and you believe it would suffice and it would be good, then, it's perfect. It's good. Because only the artist will be able to nitpick it. As I said, because with that video, all those people, they could point out some flaws. Yeah, anyone could. You could do this with this one. But nobody could have picked anything near the amount of flaws that I could, because I made it. I know what I'm looking for, what it should be like in theory, and I know how it could go and all that stuff. I'm the creator, so I'm going to be able to pick out all these flaws. But everybody who watched it had no like sorry. They just gained from it. They gained a lot from it. They didn't have nearly the amount of flaws in their mind as I did, right? So the overall image, the overall presence was good. Death Part 2 was good. It overall accomplished something great for the person. And as I said, if you can give it to the person and they believe it will be good, you're going to have 1,000 reasons to take it back and rework it. But if they will believe it's good, then it's perfect. It's perfect. I could already look at this video and I can point out 5 different flaws right now. I have them in my mind. Right now. But I'm still probably going to upload this one. This is my second time recording it because the first time I just had a little run with my thoughts. But I'm not going anywhere beyond 3. I might re-record this another time. But if you're seeing it, then I didn't. But that's besides the point. I don't go anywhere beyond 3 now because it gets too robotic. You take it back. It's your detail. The overall image is good. You could give this to someone and they'd gain from it. But you're going to nitpick it. You're going to poke it and twist it and turn it because you're the one who made it and you know exactly what the problem is. But you have 1,000 problems. So it's normal. But you need to accept that it's perfect as long as you can hand it to someone. It's perfect. I swear it is perfect. As long as it won't break, as long as it isn't bad, and as long as it doesn't taste horrible, being food, then hand it to someone. It's going to be flawed, but just as long as it can accomplish the main goal. You need to get past that barrier because it is so crucial. I didn't upload videos for a long time, and I've almost not uploaded videos that have been successful and that have helped people. So I like to think of it now like if I didn't accept that it's flawed and I didn't accept my human part and I just kept re-recording, I would have got nowhere. I would have helped no one. And that's in this video too. I can point out a ton of flaws, but I'm accepting that I'm me. I'm Jake King. I'm human. I'm me. There's going to be flaws, but the overall message is good. And if you stick around and you hear it and you benefit from it, then perfect. Perfect. That's exactly what we need. We do not need a purely informational source video where you have no human, it's just a fucking script. We don't need that. So accept your flaws, accept your creation's flaws, and as long as it achieves the overall message and the overall purpose in a healthy and good way, it is perfect. It is perfect. I promise you. I promise you. Anyway, wish I knew it sooner, of course, as I say with all things in these videos, but, you know, this one would have been dandy a little bit ago, but that's besides the point. I'm glad I can tell you this now. So, my challenge for you is to just take that perspective when you create something, whatever it is you create, take the perspective I told you about, and just let it go. Just let it go. You will feel satisfied. You won't feel satisfied in the moment, but after I post my videos and I get them off my chest, I feel satisfied because I completed it. I don't have to re-record it for 1,000 more times. I've done it. I'm satisfied. I'm promising you, you will be satisfied. So your challenge is to just take this mindset with you for a little while, test it out here and there with your creations, accept the flaws, and just get it out there. Anyway. That's all. Hope this helps you a ton. Take care, my friend.